Hi world, welcome to this video. This is Tina from TinaHeals.com, and today I'm speaking to you about Saturn through the 12 signs. If you have your Saturn in Capricorn, then you're very lucky because this is a sign that Saturn rules. This is his domain. This is his rulership. So this is a very, very good and strong and positive placement for Saturn. However, of course, there are other factors to look at, but let's just say this is a good scene, okay? And Saturn, what is it all about? Saturn is the principle of negentropy. That means it's a principle of constriction, restriction. Wherever Saturn is placed by sign, by house, by placements, we can uncover our greatest challenges. Okay, we can discover what we face. And when we work through that, we realize that this may have been the place of our greatest challenges, but this is also the place of our greatest blessings because Saturn gives us very tangible, very physical manifestations as in the form of blessings. It's never airy or up in the air like Jupiter, but it's solid. So when you first face Saturn, of course, you have Sarisati, 7.5 years of Saturn contact. But when you when you're about 29 years of age, then you truly understand Saturn because that's when you have your Saturn return. Saturn return is about the transiting Saturn returning to the same place where it was when you were born. Okay, and this is like the first chance of growing up, first chance of realizing the true meaning of hashtag adulting. Okay, it's time to grow up, to take authorship, to understand what we've done. Because if you look at it, the logos expands from the sun. In Mercury, it learns about communication. In Venus, it learns of value, what we love, what we cherish. In Mars, it learns about desire and the impulse to act. In Jupiter, it expands every single thing that it has gone through. Now, after that, what? After that, the soul encounters Saturn, and Saturn is ready to ask you that, okay, what have you learned? What have you done with your time? Saturn is intimately associated with time. In the Vedic myths, he's known as Kala. His brother is Yama, or the god of the netherworlds, who guides souls to, after their death, to the netherworld. And of course, in Western myth, Saturn is also known as the Grim Reaper. Okay, he's got a lot of bad press. He's known as the Great Malefic. The Persians called him a demon, like all the other planets that they think are demonic. And even in the Vedic myths, he is a malefic, but he's auspicious and a part of the Navagraha. And he is our father figure, our relationship to our father figure. And there's no frills or fancy or any, there's no extra embellishment with Saturn. It's time for Karma Cafe. You come in and you get served what you deserve. Okay, so Saturn is actually the first guardian of humanity, and when you work with Saturn, you understand that Saturn is actually your greatest ally. Now, what is Capricorn like? Endurance, forbearance, acquisition, mastery of the 3D world, conquering everything. It's the archetype of the boss. The corporates fall under this. So, this is about growth and expansion and about acquisition. So, there may be some trauma related to these things. You may not have enough, or even no matter how much you have, it may never be enough, or maybe you don't have a self-esteem, or you cannot seem to take on a leadership role or be the boss as Capricorn expects you. Remember, the signs are who we are, and the planets touch us. That's astrology. That's how we interpret the movement of the planets and the signs. So here we are ready to master ourselves because that's what the soul karma of Capricorn is. It's the archetype of the mountain goat who steadily climbs on top of the mountains. And through perilous and extremely precarious pathways, it manages to keep its endurance up, keep its patience up, and keep on going. This is Capricorn and this is Saturn. So there is a perfect marriage of synchronistic elements. This is in absolute fluidity. The energies are the same. That's what happens when a planet is in rulership. Okay, so definitely you will need to figure out material things. You will need to figure out your finances. You will need to figure out a way to procure, otherwise you won't be happy. But then there may be reality checks along the way depending on who you've heard, because Capricorn can be selfish like Saturn. Saturn is also not just the hardships we face, not just a shove into adulthood. It's also our pathology, our traumas, our um, phobias. Okay, so here there may be a phobia with regards to reaching your full potential and mastering the situation around you. But if you just allow Saturn to exhibit its natural powers, then you will just grow with this. You will be a powerful person, no doubt, just because of the sheer presence you have with Saturn's placement. People, of course, you have to know the house, but people will listen to what you have to say. Okay, people will want to hear what you have to say, because you will be an important person in your community. Okay, and and not in the quirky way Aquarius will be, although they are about community. But I see legal work, I see with Saturn and Capricorn, of course, corporations and the big pharma and things like that. But you'll do much better if you work for yourself, no matter what line of work you go in. Okay, so many unique attributes that your natal chart mm, will suggest about yourself, and then you can truly piece together the story. The Saturn sign and Saturn karma is one aspect of it, but you have to grow with this, because it will feel restrictive, it will feel constrictive. In the Jungian archetype, Saturn is the old wise man. Okay, like the hermit card in tarot, time to look inside. Okay, and Capricorn may be, as I said, devoid of emotions. The emotional quotient can be very toned down, especially Saturn is not known to be emotional. It's a cold restrictive energy, but it is necessary. It gives us form. Look at what Saturn rules in our physical body: our hair, our nails, our teeth, everything, our bones, our skeletal structure. It's what gives us this form that we hold. Okay, now an afflicted Saturn can mean so many things: problem with authority, problem with your father. And of course there are ways to propitiate Saturn in many systems, especially the Vedic system. uh, I offer mustard oil, I ride the frequency of Saturn, I feed crows, and black dogs are known as the totem. They're very close to the energy of Saturn. See, it has this very dark side to it. Okay, if you understand that Saturn was born of Surya light and Chaya shadow, so Saturn is definitely got its darkness. Okay, even the color of Shani is black. So that means everything, it's a great void from it which everything springs. And if you look at the rings of Saturn, they're symbolic of boundaries as well, right? That okay, this is where you need to stop. This is your whole structure between which within which you operate. Okay, so that was a bit about Saturn in his rulership in Capricorn, and this is like definitely a very strong placement. Work with Saturn on this, and you will see that Yes, there are tears, yes, there'll be pain, yes, there'll be problems, separation, but ultimately, Saturn is here to guide you. He's your teacher. He's a no fluff teacher, but he's a teacher and he's a great one. And a very heavy dose of realism that's necessary, because we can't always be starry eyed about everything. We need a reality check, because that's what we are here for, the human experience. Okay, what is the human experience? That I think Saturn and Capricorn is here to understand. What is the human condition and how to better it, and then ultimately how to achieve self actualization or self mastery. That's what Capricorn wants to do. It wants to master everything, it wants to be the master of everything. And Saturn in his rulership is shining the hallowed light. So go ahead, instead of being selfish or penny pinching or acquisitive or tremendously ambitious. Okay, now ambition may be a source of trauma for you also, because Saturn gives you trauma, gives you restrictions. So Capricorn being ambitious, it may curtail your ambition by maybe, you know, throwing failures in your face. But if you're resilient, how Saturn expects you to be, then you'll pick yourself off the ground, and you'll understand that going forward, falling on your face is also going forward, right? That is, I think, what Saturn wants you to learn in Capricorn. That yes, there'll be powerful, glorious days, but when the lows come, be prepared, because the lows are as valid and as necessary as the highs. All right. So, you know the drill, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think of these videos, and visit my website www.tinax.com.